This is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS FM 101.1, AM 1160. He is Mark Hilliard, the president of the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce. Joins us, and always brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
It's good to have you with us here this morning.
It's good to be here. Hopefully next time we talk, well, one of the next times, it'll be in person.
There you go. That would be something. I'd vote for that. Hey, we just got this release from you over the weekend. The Indiana County Ready program has well, I don't know, graduated would be the word, but they've awarded 250 students recognition for completion of the program. That must be pretty heartening.
We were real excited about that. We had been kind of faced with the problem at the middle of March as to the distance learning, and we recognized there was going to be some issues with that in terms of this program. But we elected to continue to go forward with it because for students who enrolled in the program, they had 3/4 of it completed. It's not fair to them to say, especially the seniors, that I'm sorry, we can't do it. And we felt that in terms of distance learning, there were a lot of those essential skills that they were learning and having to use on a day-to-day basis with their teachers that are similar to what you'd use in the real world in a job situation, such as how to communicate appropriately via email and independence and responsibility and a lot of those things that you have to do when the teacher's not in the room with you the entire time. So I thought there were some good things that they could accomplish that way, and I was really happy we were able to complete the program, and the schools they did a great job, the teachers and the guidance counselors especially. It was great to see. I was sent some photos of some of the students with their pins on the graduation or holding up their certificates, and that was also really encouraging. I think next year it's going to be, provided that everything gets back to normal, I think we're going to see that program grow even bigger.
One of the great things about the program is it hits them at just the right age. There are people who don't have those types of skills built into them during their school careers or haven't in the past. And here they find themselves in their 20s and even their 30s without having acquired some of what really are essential skills, not only for getting a job, but for holding a job and performing it effectively.
I think in a lot of ways that, and I look back how I was at that age, but there's a lot of times when, you are 16, 17, 18 years old, you're hearing some of these things, about communication and attendance, and it's just kind of white noise at that point. You don't really put a lot of importance into it. But with this program, we're really trying to stress that and trying to help develop some of those traits a little bit earlier on with students. And you're absolutely right. It's oftentimes in your mid to late 20s when you start to realize how important they are, and then in a lot of ways you're playing catch up with some other people who have been practicing them for a while and they've held a good job. And they're moving up in the company where you're just looking for an entry-level position at that point in time. So one of the things we've told students when I was in at the beginning of the school year with some of the assemblies was, don't wait until you have no choice, where you're struggling financially. You have to help support your family before you start to realize that these are important skills. And hey, I better start getting on the ball here. It's a good thing to start practicing early, and that's why, we were really happy with the way it went this year with the schools.
Terrific. Okay, so the Chamber of Commerce has been right there at the forefront as businesses have begun to reopen, as the county has transitioned into green. You've got that wonderful publication that you put out called Indiana County's Road to Recovery that happens every week. You put that out, and it's got tons and tons of information. What's the latest that folks need to know from the Chamber?
Well, the biggest things we're trying to help with are just guidelines on what it means to be green, how to be open effectively. It's still, I'm sure everyone who's been out shopping or been visiting businesses, it's almost like no two businesses are alike when it comes to what kind of guidelines they practice. And most of them, the vast majority of the businesses in the county are doing their best to try to adhere to whatever the guidelines are, and there's just so much gray area there. But I think overall as a county, we've been excellent in, really, working hard to, get to whatever the phase is. With yellow phase, I feel our businesses really we're working hard to follow those guidelines in the green phase as well. And I think that's partly why, we've seen the numbers that we've seen here, or the low numbers that we've seen. I think that, overall our county has done a very, very good job. And, from that standpoint, we're just trying to provide businesses with whatever resources they need at this point in time. In some cases, they may be new financial resources. As we see some grants becoming available and some guidelines.
Are you still there? Mark, you still there? I think I hear him, but I don't hear him talking. Mark?
Open. How can we help them?
Okay.
And how can we continue to support them?
Hey, we lost you for about 30 seconds there. So if there was something that you needed to include there, we could hear you shuffling around, but your voice was gone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're good now though. So if you need to review that last 30 seconds, by all means do. I think the last thing you said was
the biggest thing that I could say. Can you hear me? Okay now?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I mainly made the point that we're now kind of in the recovery effort. We're not simply waiting to businesses to reopen and what do we have to do to reopen. It's okay. We're open. How can we do our best to help these businesses follow those guidelines, and then what can we do to help continue to get the money in the cash register to ring? So we're kind of working on some ideas right now to help the businesses from the recovery standpoint and continue to get them some revenues coming in.
When those government programs come out, I usually get it from at least 3 sources, and you're usually one of them. It's pretty good to know that there are so many folks in Indiana County that are watching the government and seeing as soon as something becomes available that's going to help business, you're right on it. I mean, we learn right away. There's money out there for you to help you in your business recovery, and here's how you get it. And that's a pretty important thing.
Yeah, there's so much information, and unfortunately, I think in a lot of cases too much, because it was a little bit overwhelming for businesses during these 2 or 3 months where there was just so much to piece through and figure out what can actually benefit my business. So we were doing our best to really try to go through everything and only send out emails and information on what we felt was the most pertinent for businesses. So it can be challenging. There's so much out there, and it was a little bit of a struggle. But I think we did a pretty nice job, as other organizations have done, with just allowing businesses to know what was available to them. And sometimes that was financially related, but other times it was just the right information on what they need to do to get ready to reopen.
All right. We're going to talk about this, I'm sure, in a subsequent visit a little bit closer to the event, but there's something called the State of the County virtual webinar coming up on the 1st of July. Tell me about it.
Yes. Well, it was something we actually planned in person back in April, but obviously we couldn't do that. Every year we hold an Eggs and Issues with our state legislators at the end of August, beginning of September, and we had wanted to do something very similar with the county officials, so the county commissioners, and hold a breakfast meeting where the public could attend and actually ask questions of the commissioners and have the commissioners kind of give a state of the county. Weren't able to do that. We talked about maybe tabling it until next year, but I think that given the current state of the county and everything that's transpired, we thought it was really important to continue to hold this, but to do it virtually instead of making it, a paid event where you pay for a ticket to get you breakfast and admission. It's going to be free to the public. So it's going to be on Wednesday, July the 1st. If you check our Facebook page or our website, there will be a link there where you can register for it, or if you want to call our office, we can get you on the email list and get you registered for it. But all 3 county commissioners will be there talking about the state of the county, and we'll be soliciting questions here in the next couple of weeks that people can get in early and ask a question and find out what they want to know about anything related to Indiana County. And I'm sure we're going to talk about broadband and COVID recovery and everything else. But we're excited about that, and we're happy to kind of hold an event like that, even though it's not in person. It's still going to be very, very relevant. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and again, we'll schedule a time when we can talk more about that in depth as the event gets closer.
That'd be great.
Give people the idea of the information for them to log into the Zoom meeting. Coming up for the next month, take us out 2 months, take us out even 3 months if you care. What are some of the steps that the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce are looking forward to not only for reopening and helping our economy get started again, but just for things that Indiana County's business community and our economy can benefit from. What are some of the things that you're looking at?
Well, we're working with a lot of the communities around the county, and we have some meetings coming up with a number of them. We've created an event on July 19th to the 25th called Indiana County Shop Local Week. And it's going to be a county-wide event where we're encouraging people to shop local. And similar to what downtown Indiana does around Small Business Saturday, where they have downtown dollars, we're going to offer chamber cash. And if you are shopping in a retail establishment or eating out at a restaurant that is participating in this event, and we're hoping that there are many, many restaurants and retail businesses that do that, then every purchase you make, you'll get 10% back in chamber cash that you can use at other businesses all the way through the end of August. So we have a couple of other things that we're working on for that week to really make it fun. I know downtown Indiana is working on a couple of things as well. We're hoping that it's a nice day, a nice week that we can really get people to come out and support all of our businesses throughout the county. And it's going to be, we're hoping on July 25th, there can be some things going on in each one of these communities throughout the county where people can go support these businesses, maybe have a little bit of fun. We can't do any big festivals or anything like that, but it could be a nice day out with the family to go and shop, and hoping to kind of recreate a mini small business Saturday, but doing it a week long that really can help support these businesses, give them a little bit more of a jump start, and keep that revenue coming in.
When we have our visits in normal times, and I don't know if normal times will ever return, but when we do, we often talk about efforts that are being made to attract business to Indiana County. And I don't know how extensive those efforts can be made right now because so many businesses and industries are just hanging on. They've fallen off the cliff and grabbed onto the branch, and they're just hanging there, just trying to pull themselves back up. But you tell me, are we hearing things? Are people looking at any spaces around Indiana County, or is that basically on hold for now?
No, I mean it's an ongoing process. Even during the entire shutdown, it was still ongoing. Obviously, things slowed down a good bit as businesses were very reluctant to look at relocating or creating a new location at that point in time because of so much uncertainty. But no, it has been ongoing. There was a lot of talk of quite a number of people looking at Indiana County at the beginning of March, and we're hoping that those talks really start to pick up here as we head towards July. Again, we're starting to see more of a sense of normalcy with everything. So
sure.
I'm hoping that continues here. But we really expected this year to be a really big year for the county. We were looking forward to a number of things happening. That we slowed down a little bit, but I think in terms of a lot of counties around the area, we've actually done really well throughout this crisis, and really proud of everything that's happened. And right now, we're not as bad off as we really could have been, and I think we're going to start bouncing back here very quickly. I'm
sure as well that you continue to watch the Reggie debate going on in Harrisburg and trying to see a way through that that could keep our power plants open. And I know that the Chamber has always been very, very interested and an active participant in discussions of that nature.
Yeah, we had a press conference about a month ago, a virtual press conference that I spoke at, and there is such an indirect impact on so many businesses throughout the county if that would pass, and a lot of that information has been put out there time and time again through many of these committee hearings and, through a lot of the discussion in Harrisburg. And last week, I know that continued. And it's going to be an ongoing battle with the governor on it. And I just, I'll do everything that we can here, and we have done everything we can to make sure that never happens. There are other ways that we can look at helping in the environment, but that's just not a way with the millions of dollars that would be lost in Indiana County, the thousands of jobs. It's not worth it. There are other opportunities, and there was so much wrong with the entire process that I just want to see it done correctly and really go to the legislature like it should. And I think we have good people in Harrisburg from Indiana County that are representing us very well right now.
All right, terrific stuff. Mark Hilliard, thanks for being with us. We'll get that other interview scheduled and tell folks even more. Appreciate your time this morning.
Todd.
Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
It is the voice of Indiana County, Voice of Indiana County, Voice of Indiana.